It's so lovely to finally meet you.
Yeah, you too. Because do you remember? You might remember, or you may not have connected it, but I used to publish a wedding magazine, and there you are,
I did remember this, and that was
Margot's wedding.
Margot's wedding. There you go.
And you and Vicky did a piece in there about how to keep love alive, after marriage. But no, I mean, it's crazy me revisiting this as well because it is years ago.
I love that. So that's how we first connected.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
I was doing the journal or I was listening to the podcast, and I used to always think of anything that I was listening to or watching or whatever, I'd try and incorporate it where I could. So we even had like Dick and Angel Strawbridge's wedding in here because I was watching like Escape to the Chateau at the time. So yeah, anything that was like appealing to me, I felt like it would probably be appealing to the people who were reading the magazine as well.
So, and now you publish another magazine, which is that Flow Circle?
Flows Mag.
Flow's Mag. Flow Circle is the Instagram. This is me trying to remember all the
It's
names.
called Flow Circle.
Yes. Oh my God.
So it's called Flow Circle, but this is called Flows Mag, and I run a market called Flows Market, and I run like small business networking events. That's
So
what I do now. That's what's happened after the wedding business. The wedding business was sort of pre-COVID. Then I had a sort of like floundering around for a good few years, moving house and doing really random things. And then I just sort of recalibrated back to sort of what I was doing before. I mean, it's very similar what I do now with the magazine and the market to what I did with the wedding industry, because I used to do wedding fairs as well. But it's just local and lifestyle, and it's gone really bonkers because obviously with a wedding thing, it's such a niche market. But with this, it's for everyone.
yeah. So it's going well.
Yeah, it's going really well.
Oh, that's great. Oh my God, it's so nice to hear a small business owner saying it's going really well.
Look, I mean, I've got my struggles and I'm really trying to grow it and trying to like figure out how I'm gonna grow and make it bigger, make it work, and like incorporate more people and try and earn some more money. But the bare bones of it there, it's only been going for a year.
God, it's only been going for a year.
Well, I had Flow Circle before. I mean, it all started because I was doing like energy treatment in the pandemic or just after the pandemic. That's the business started from there. That was what my energy healing business was called, Flow Circle. So it has been going for a few years, but last summer I quit a job and then I had to do something else. So I sort of just used my old Instagram, if you like, and now it's just changed shape into something different.
Wow.
With me working on my own, like the magazine launched last October. So yeah, just over a year for the magazine. The market started in March. So yeah, in essentially what it is today has only been going for a year.
So you're a really great example of someone who has been creating their own career. Like really, it sounds like you evolve. And this is what I'd love to talk about today. Obviously, the role that the journals have played in that. But I also, what I'm loving about these conversations is hearing how each individual has been approaching what I call the art of life design, and actually what you call it and how you would describe it. But people who are really consciously creating their lives and their careers, and in some cases, like you, creating businesses. But let's take a look at the journals. Let's start there. Let's have a look. So how long have you been doing them? Look at that, the skinny one. Is that the right from the start?
2018.
Oh.
So yeah, I've got 7 of them and I've been through all of them this morning.
Have you? How was that? How was it going back through all the journals?
Yeah, it was mad. It was crazy. It was
and because we got the pandemic in the middle of it, which I find so brilliant that we've managed to capture that insane period of this era in those journals.
Yeah, it was really interesting going back through them. It was like I could see the common threads throughout all of them. I still had the same struggles, but that's really good to identify it as well. I just see you know, people in my life who were really important at a certain time, and now they're not even in my life at all. That was really bonkers. You know, it was like people I'm really grateful for, Imogen, like, you know, we fell out years ago. Cool. So it's just weird how you can change. Yeah. So it's really been a journey, and I've really thought of it like a life coach, like an affordable life coach.
Wow. Why do you think it works? I mean, that's great to hear, because obviously I call it a life coach in your pocket. um, what would you say is the experience for you of it being like a life coach? Do you do any other guided journals that are like that?
Uh, I'm actually doing a journaling course at the moment. I started it last week. I'm doing a 6-week journaling course. Someone who advertises in the magazine, she's a coach and she's doing a journaling course. So I've joined up with that. I journal myself every morning.
Yeah.
So I've done that for a good few years now. Probably about the same amount of time as I've been doing the journals. I do like stream of consciousness, get it all out, two pages of A4, maybe one if I haven't got time, with a cup of tea in bed in the morning. That is just part of my routine now. I mean, I've always written since I was a kid. So I've had diaries, journals, written. I've loved writing. So it's a really natural way for me to unpick what's going on in my head. And I love the the reflective element of it, to look back and think, oh my God, how far I've come, or like, I can't believe that was only a year ago. It really works for me. And I work well in like looking at life as in chapters. So to look back on a whole year and then to look forward to another year it just makes sense in my head. But I mean, I know it doesn't make sense in some other people's heads. Not everyone is like me, are they? I mean, I gave your journal before, goodbye 30s, hello 40s to two of my friends, but my sister and my friend. I don't think either of them did it, only because they're just not that person, you know.
Listen, my mum does not understand. It's so hilarious. I captured a video of her looking at it, and she was like, I mean, she's reading through. She's like, like, you know, what makes you happy? I don't know. What was the happiest moment? So I said, I don't know. And I was like, listen, not everyone's into asking themselves these questions and reflecting, and you know.
Exactly. And last weekend, I had a conversation with my sister because she's stuck with her career. And I was like, if you could do anything, like no limits, don't worry about the children, don't worry about money, anything. And she really couldn't figure it out. She's like, it's too broad. I just don't know. Like for me, I can figure that out quite easily.
But don't you think that comes from the self-awareness that comes from asking ourselves these questions? I do think sometimes it's a personality type. So I'm really into the Jungian Myers-Briggs sort of personality types, and recognizing people's differences. It really shows up in how people can dream and access those dreams and desires. But I do also think that everyone needs to and benefits from self-reflection. But I think we're not always presented with that encouragement or those opportunities. And so it's like practicing a muscle, you know, and so a lot of people can go through life not stopping and asking themselves questions, or they ask themselves questions and they're terrified of the fact that
it feels too daunting, I think.
Yes.
But I think for me, like I don't read a lot of like self-help or self-development books. I used to, but I don't anymore really, just because I just read fiction when I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Like Atomic Habits was one book I read by James Clear. I don't know whether I listened to the audiobook, but you don't really need to read the book to know what that is all about. Yeah. It's just about getting a tiny bit better every day. Instead, you can't just make big changes just like that, can you? It's just about making really small changes to like a little votes to become the person you want to be.
Would you say then, well, looking at the journals, what were some of the things going back through the journals? And I love this is the power of this is what I always had that vision for. And it's so exciting to be at a point where I can talk to people who have a shelf that looks like mine, because it's the same journals on there. It's so familiar, that sequence of journals, because I look at it every day. I've literally got it up to my right. But the beauty now being able to look back through them and look back at, 8 years ago, and what you were saying, and like you say, how much relationships have changed. I have the exact same thing. People that were like my closest, my nearest and dearest people I was grateful for, I'm barely in touch with some of those people now. And that's the nature of life and relationships and friendships. But what other things did you notice by looking back?
I noticed, I wrote them down here, common themes throughout all of them. It's all about health and well-being, trying to not be so stressed all the time. Like, it's like your journal Time to Thrive, like trying to get some balance with drinking. I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking 5 years ago. That was a big part in the journals as well, about giving up drinking. There's so much theme around time and not having enough time, and just being like tired all the time and exhausted and whatever. Towards the later journals, it's like just wanting to like realize my full potential. I'd really noticed that there was always throughout all of them, no boundaries between my work and my life. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Like, it's all tied into my business and my work. There's no boundaries. And in some of the journals, I really need to put some boundaries in. But now I don't really think about that, or I don't worry about it. I did gradually put in, I used to work all hours of the weekends and evenings, and I don't do that anymore. I switch off for evenings and weekends, and that was, I guess, part of it. It's like self-esteem and self-worth seem to be like the common thread, and like just wanting to have really memorable experiences with friends and family. Like, that's such an important thing for me, to like look back on a year to have had really good experiences, whether it's a camping trip or going abroad or going to a show or whatever, just planning things in advance, otherwise it will never happen. So when I look ahead, like at the moment, I always put my 3 commitments for the quarter on a whiteboard in my bedroom.
Do you? See, this is very interesting. I'm experimenting with this now, because I am notorious with myself for not remembering what commitments I've written down in the journal. And then unless I keep each week opening up the book. So I've just put it on a piece of paper, my quarterly commitments, and stuck it on my cupboard. And also my monthly check-ins. And it's making such a difference to get it up on the wall. And the club, the membership that I have around the journals, we've been looking at what the next products can be. And a lot of it is, how do you take it out of the journal and onto the wall so it's beautiful and you can see it and you can be reminded of it. So you do that?
Yeah, well, mine's not beautiful. It's literally a white with literally just the words on, but it's like behind my chest of drawers. So every day I look at it, like when I go get my knickers out, and
yeah,
like it's just there it's like, so it sort of feeds into my subconscious. Like, I've got a vision board as well above my bed. I do vision boards a lot. I regularly update them. I think it's just to like having those in my bedroom, not like and I just glimpse at it and I think, oh yeah, I need to get onto that. So I'll put it in my diary for the weekend. Yeah, having those commitments is, to me, the reason why it works.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. This is what I find fascinating, is what other people's process is beyond the journal. Like, how do you take the journal and then continue to sort of weave it in? So up on the wall,
the quarterly check-ins are great. And sometimes I've thought, I don't want to do it. I don't really want to do that one anymore, and I'll change it. But I don't care about changing it.
Yeah. You've got to experiment and see if it's actually, our imagination, I always say, can only get us so far. So you can put it down and then a couple of weeks in be like, this is not working for me. Yeah. I'm not even interested in that anymore. I've completely changed my mind. I want to do something else.
Exactly. Because a lot of these journals was look into getting a dog, and I do not have a dog now, and I don't really want a dog, to be honest with you. But for some reason, there's always, in a lot of them, it's research a dog. But I don't know.
Yeah, but this is the whole thing with dreams. And I look back through my journals, and there are a lot of things I put in there that I thought I wanted, that at the time I wanted, and now I can look and see, oh, I can see why I wanted it then, but I ended up, that wasn't what I wanted in the end. And one of the things that went into my journal was saying, right, it's time. I live in London. I was like, we're going to go and really take this dream of living by the sea seriously. And so I had it in my journal, right, the first thing, off we go and explore different coastal places. And then within a few quick weeks, my son was just like, but I love where we live. I've got my best friend 2 doors down from me. Do you know how special that is? And I was like, right, pause, dream about living by the sea.
Well, no, I'm the same as you. I think our sons are quite similar age. How old is yours?
He's 10.
Yeah, mine's going to be 10 next month.
Right.
And I'm the same. I would move. I know where I would move to as well. And he would not entertain it.
No, and also we've built our community here. I've built the community of parents here, and as they go into secondary school, it's like you can't repeat that. So I'm like, well, it's Lewisham then for the foreseeable, but I've moved that dream, further down the line. One day we'll get there. But
you can work around that as well, can't you? Like, you could spend more holidays by the sea.
Exactly, we do. We go to Devon, same place, a couple of times a year, and so that's what I do. Exactly. So but this is the thing. It's about allowing yourself to dream, expressing those dreams, testing them out, but it doesn't mean every single one is going to come true. And sometimes because you realize you don't want it, or your family doesn't want it, or whoever's around you doesn't want it. So like, right, press pause on that,
Yeah, like change is part of the process and just about trying things out.
What would you say, looking back through the journals, were there any big dreams that have become a reality that you first wrote down in the journal? You can see the beginnings of it in the journal.
Sobriety, that was one of them. I wanted to give up drinking. That I did give up drinking after I turned 40. Then I didn't. Then the whole journey of not seeing it through, like falling off the wagon after 7 months, but then restarting it again, and that all being part of the process. So that was one big thing. I stopped drinking in 2020. I mean, a big thing at the start of the journey, a lot of it has been around my house, my home. I was living in a rented flat when I started the journey, and I gradually bought a house. But now, even now, it is about getting a bigger house. A lot of it is about my home and trying to work out the steps that it's going to take to make that all happen. But that seems to be a slow process, but doesn't matter if it's a slow process.
Would you say the journals help you in kind of breaking those bigger dreams and desires down into those steps that you need to take to make them happen? Or are you doing that separately in a kind of different way? Or do the journals help with that process?
Yeah, the journals help with it all. I mean, I use the journals for my life and my business. And like I say, I don't like separate the two. I mean, so here I put sobriety, house, holidays and memorable experiences, my career trajectory. I mean, I've done lots of different things in my career. I've done, as you know, like different industries. I've worked with different people. And it's just about working out whether that feels right or wrong, or things need to change.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like for me, what it does, it helps to kind of shape it and mold it and craft it, and a bit like creating a home. So you really enjoy living in it. It's just like, well, I'm going to now look at this area, or this isn't working, or I want more of this. And
yeah, for me, it's just about figuring out if I'm on the right path, or if things need to be changed or tweaked, or yeah.
And it's the pausing to check in with yourself, isn't it? Which you obviously do every morning with your morning pages, your journaling.
Yeah.
And this is a sort of bigger step back and checking in. It is just really that process of checking in and asking yourself, how am I doing? What's working? What isn't working?
I love making time for it at the end of the year and thinking of the word for the next year, what I want it to be about. Yeah.
What was your word this year?
I never remember the word.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I never remember the word. It's more about the commitments, really.
That's really interesting, though. So you don't put your intention up, you put your commitments. And the word, what do you enjoy then about having that? Well, what is your intention?
Well, I enjoyed thinking about that at the end of the year, but that sort of, I forget that in a way, and I just break it down. Like, I'm the kind of person with everything that I need to break it down into small chunks.
Yes.
Yeah. So my 2025 is my year of expansive space.
Oh, and has that, do you now we're towards the end of the year, does it feel like, even though you forgot that that's what you wrote down, has that seed taken hold? And would you say that that is something that you have experienced more of this year?
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
definitely. Yeah, even with little things like I joined a health club this year in February, and like my house is quite small, and so every time I've been able to put, like, I want to move to a bigger house. That's what I want to move to a bigger house. So every time I've been able to push it a bit, like, ordered the loft, got a shed, did the patio, and then I joined this lovely, amazing health club down the road in February, even though I couldn't really afford it. And I don't use it as much as I should, to be fair. But my son plays golf there on a Sunday, and I was just like, I want this. I want to be able to come here whenever I want. And I will leave him on his own. I mean, he got to that point where I can, like in the evening, I'll just pop down there for a swim. And just having that pool, and sometimes I just go there in the evening. There's nobody else in there, and I've got the pool to myself. And like things like that,
That's definitely expansive space. That's amazing.
yeah, I think that's important to me, like to feel freedom. And I've got a caravan. It's really, it's kind of on its last legs now, but I've got a caravan. And yeah, I've been trying to like level up, like energetically, I suppose. I've even got a cleaner for my tiny house, and I never thought I would be deserving of a cleaner, but it's given me that space back to, like, when you're just thinking, I've got all this to do, and I've got to clean the bathroom, and oh God, I just wanted to like take a little bit of pressure off myself. So expansive space. Yeah, I suppose it'd be hard to maybe articulate what that means, but just like energetically open up some space, because everything somehow gets a bit overwhelming sometimes, and like can feel like the walls are closing in.
But this is what I feel is part of the magic of writing these things down, and particularly capturing them in a journal that is designed for that. I think that does add, you could do it into a notebook for sure, but there is something about having the journal as the container that is asking you to sort of write down what is your intention for this year. And I've been talking about this with other people that I've been interviewing, and about that, the magic that actually just comes from writing that down, and in that moment committing to it. Even if you then close the journal and completely forget that you wrote it, it can still, that can be enough, that it can take a hold and start to, it's the energy of it. And I'm really interested because I don't think I realized you did energy work.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, well, tell us a little bit about the energy work you do, but also from your perspective, how might that work? That if you're in that moment really feeling that expansive space energy and writing it down and really committing to it, even though you forget on a conscious level that you wrote it, energetically, could that be sort of creating ripples?
Well, don't get me wrong, I am no expert on this energy work, but yeah, I mean, I believe in, the law of attraction and thoughts become things. But my journey into energy work, don't get me wrong, I don't do it anymore. It's sort of a chapter that was sort of like COVID. But when I turned 40, I was given a voucher for my birthday for a treatment called Access Bars. Have you heard of it?
No.
So Access Bars, and I was sort of like, what is that? I don't know what it is. It doesn't even sound like a treatment. And they sort of explained it as, it deletes all your limiting beliefs and like reprograms your brain to like back to how you were when you were a baby.
Wow. Did it?
Like, it did.
Oh my. But what is it? I can't even picture it.
It's a head treatment. So you lie on your back, and it's the therapist touches 32 points on your head. So, well, first of all, your head, then the bottom of your feet to get energy running through your body. And then it's 32 points on the head. I sort of explain it as like reflexology for the mind. So whereby reflexology on your feet correlates to different areas in your body, the points on your head correlate to different areas of your life. So whether it's like money, control, creativity. So we've all been programmed, haven't we, by society or by our peers, by our parents. And the idea is any stuck energy we've got around those things dissolves, and it's like a laxative for your brain. And it really worked for me, honestly. I felt amazing after the first treatment, and it went from there. And I started myself and the girl who I did the treatments with, we started swapping, and then I did the course to become a practitioner, and then I did the course to become a facilitator, and I taught other people to do it. So yeah, I was really going down that woo-woo path, and I could have gone further with it, but I felt like I was stepping out a bit of reality. No, I got it, but a lot of people, I could see them looking at me like, what? So I ended up going back down more of a conventional, back to what I did before, like I said, events and community stuff, but I still carry that energy. So it's all about energy. What I do now with the people who are in the magazine who come to the market, it's all about vibrations and like connecting with the right people or the right thing dropping in your path at the right time, or like knowing what you want in order for it to come, So that's why like the commitments on the whiteboard and my vision board, they just keep my brain knowing what I want so that it can look out for things when they come up. I don't know if you know about the reticular activating system.
No. Oh my God. Yes, go on. Tell us all.
I don't know. But this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why I stopped doing it, because I felt like I wasn't an expert in it, and I didn't want to, I found it hard to communicate. But the reticular activating system is like a part of our brain stem or whatever. So we take in so much information these days from all around, so much, don't we, on social media, wherever we go, and our brains can't possibly filter, it can't possibly process all that information. So we only process the things that our brain thinks are relevant. Ooh. So if you've got on a vision board, you want a red car, for example, it will, your brain will alert you, oh, look, there's a red car for sale. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? This is so fascinating, because it's almost like reframing a lot of what manifestation tools are about, but actually looking at it from a more kind of practical, grounded perspective and saying, unless you're reminding yourself of what you want with the vision board and having your quarterly check-ins up on a wall, Selena, and not just hidden in a journal, or I was doing a time where I was each week looking at it, but then I would forget to look at it. So that was a bit of a problem. But if you're just constantly reminding yourself of what you want, which seems silly because you'd think, well, if I really wanted it, surely I'd be walking around the whole time, with that desire right there in my consciousness. But what you're saying is like, we've got so much other stuff that our brain is trying to deal with and take on board and filter. Unless you have it right in front of you, you want the red car, you want the red car, you want the red car, you're going to forget you wanted it. And so it's keeping it front of mind.
So it's a bit like
the opportunities.
Yeah. So it's a bit like fake it till you make it, or like dress for the job that you want. You sort of have to step into that life.
Well, it's staying connected and cognizant. I don't even know if that's the right word. I hope it is. And I'm so proud if it is the right word. But connected and conscious of what you want and your desire. And not presuming that if I want it, I'll keep remembering it. It's actually just reminding you over and over, this is what you want.
It's all energetic ways.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the reason why I left my job last year and started the magazine, and I went out on my own, even though it was terrifying, because someone who I was working with told me, because I said, oh, it's all about energy. It's all about karma, like they were being a bit like derogatory about someone. And I was like, why are you being like that? Like, I don't get it. Like, we need to bring the energy up. We need good energy around this scenario, around this event. And he's like, you want to get into the real world, Helen. And I just basically quit my job the next day because I thought I can't, I've got to do everything energetically. And that's how it's worked in all my businesses. It's all about energy. Yeah. But I mean, I have, there's things that I certainly struggle around, which I wish I could be better about. I mean, like even listening to you on your podcast, so do you, even though you've written books about burnout and books about how to thrive, you still, even last week, you said you really...
I frazzled myself. Totally overdid it, overworked, overextended myself, found myself working on weekends and like not just a little bit here and there, but like real amounts of time for 2 weekends on the trot. And then surprise, was absolutely knackered. Yeah, of course. Like it's, there's no destination where you get to and you're like, I've done it. I'm pretty much perfect and have to make no effort anymore to live my life in this wonderful, abundant and successful and energized way. It's like, that's just, we're not going to get there. And it's about, but it's like what you were talking about with the drinking, falling off track, getting yourself back on and just being on top of that. It's being on top of the process, isn't it? It's the check-ins and
exactly. It's like staying aligned.
Yeah.
Am I aligned? Am I on the right path? I went to I go to this philosophical friends thing every month, and we look through a poem or look through something, and then we talk about it, and then I'll put it on my fridge because it's the road not taken. Like, oh, we're on the right path, or if we've got lost, or on a different path, then we've just got to find our way back to our path.
I've been saying, you might have heard me say this on an episode recently on the podcast, but I've been noticing recently a lot of people feeling stuck. And when I've unpacked it with them, whether it's a client or whether it's a friend, whoever it may be, getting to the root of the problem is that they're not going after the real dream they want to go after, their plan A. They've settled, because I think right now a lot of people are just like resigning themselves. It's tough out there. Let's just settle for this, because that's what sort of collectively I sense we're feeling like, let's just hunker down and get through this. And so a lot of people are not going after the plan A, the big dream. And that's actually why they're feeling stuck and frustrated, because they're not on that path, the path they actually want to be on.
I don't know. Like my sister said the other day, oh, I don't absolutely hate or dread going to work anymore. And like myself and my auntie were just looking at her like, well, I suppose that's something.
It's a start.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that is happening at the moment because of just the climate around us and everything that's going on. And, it is tough. It is tough at the moment on so many fronts. And you can still also be allowing yourself to dream and like getting clear on what you really desire and going after that. It doesn't mean we have to put all of that on hold, but I think we are doing that. So it's so interesting. Yeah, that path. Is this the path you want to be on?
And I have another thing I put on the fridge recently that's like, I went to a funeral, and have you heard of the Dash poem?
No.
Well, oh my God.
Yeah, go on, read it out.
Well, it's quite long, man. It's quite long, but I think it's really good. Okay, it's called The Dash. It's by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the date on his tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of his birth and spoke of the following date with tears, but he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. But that dash represents all the time that he spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved him know what that little line is worth. Make you want to cry. But it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left. That can still be rearranged. Oh my God, I just want to cry. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before, we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash?
So good.
And actually, after I went to that funeral and saw that, it made me, I basically broke up from the relationship that I was in.
Wow.
I know, because I knew that it wasn't the right thing, and it's the same thing as being on the right path, like being aligned. Is it right or is it wrong? And change it, and not being afraid to change it.
Well, I was going to say this sounds like something, from that example, going to that funeral, hearing that poem, being moved, ending a relationship you realized wasn't the right one for you, being in a job, being in a role, and being like, I'm sure it wasn't just the one comment. It was probably, the final straw. But who knows? Maybe it was just the one comment. Being like, these are not the people that I want to spend that dash, any more of that dash with. Like, I want to be around people who don't laugh at the idea that it's all about energy, and off you went. And keep going after really creating a career and a business that suits you, that you want to do, that's come from your dreams and desires.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to be on my deathbed looking back on my life and think, oh, I wish I'd done that, or I wish I'd done things differently. Well, there was something that Rangan Chapsati said: imagine yourself on your deathbed and think of the 3 things that you'd want your life to be filled with. And then when you figured them out, think, are you doing something every day to make sure that these things are being achieved? Like, even small things. I mean, all I really want is a full life that's like inspiring and exciting. And I already have that.
Yeah.
And when someone asked me just a couple of weeks ago, like, because I've been thinking, what else can I do, like, in my business? Because I'm always a bit like that treadmill of like never enough. Like, the magazine's going well, the market's going well, but I need something else, but I don't have time. But then he said, you've got to think about what you want. And I thought, okay, why is this so hard? And I really thought about it, and I thought, I'm really happy with my life day to day now, what I'm doing, meeting new people for the magazine, the markets, all the like networking things I go to. I'm really happy. I just want to do that in a bigger house. So in order to get that house, I've got to generate some more money. And so I've got to figure out a way that I can fit that in. So I'm currently going through all these meetings and stuff with the council about growth and stuff, but it's all part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, you seem like someone who really enjoys playing that game.
Yeah.
And enjoys having a stretch goal that's like, right, now I want that, so now I need to do that.
Someone once said something I always think of. It's like, hold the vision, trust the process. You sort of have to like almost surrender to, if you know that that's what you want, just trust like the universe that you'll get there or one way or another. And that's what happens with the vision boards, because that's why I started vision boarding years ago, because I did a vision board. Then I didn't look at it for ages. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, that's actually come true. So you just have to, it's like the woo-woo bit of it is like putting your order in with the universe. I want this. And then you just trust that they know what the universe knows what you want, and they'll set about making sure that you get it.
It's just so brilliant having these conversations. It's the same kinds of topics we've been, coming up with different people I'm talking to. So I spoke to Janelle. She was the first person whose interview I put out. And she was talking about manifesting, and she's a big believer in manifestation. She said, but I think that's one side of the coin. And I think the other side is actualization. And that is going out and making it happen. I don't think that you could put everything down on your vision board and then go and just come around on your sofa and do nothing and forget about it all and give up. I don't even believe in it. And you could put that vision board under slip under the sofa and you've forgotten about it, and then you pull it out. It's because you also believe in it. You take it seriously. You honor that moment of commitment, something in bed, something energetic, perhaps like slots in. And then you're going out there and you're reminding yourself with the vision board that's on the wall, although that one you hadn't looked at for ages. But there's more than, I think, just posting it to the universe.
Yeah, I do agree. And I did listen to that one and I hadn't really heard of actualization. But yeah, I agree. And it goes back to the atomic habits, like just doing small things, like just pop a message to a mortgage advisor, and then they put it in the diary, and then it's in your diary, and then just little things happen, and then or like what I said about the 3 things on your deathbed, and then are you doing something every day? I mean, at the moment, my idea for like how I'm going to earn this money is it's all a bit cloudy and it's all a bit like foggy, but I trust that it's going to become clear. Like if I head in that direction, like the clarity is going to come. I always say, like, you need to know where you're going in order to get there. Like in a sat nav in a car, you need to be heading in the right direction. You can't just, if you don't put the exact location in a sat nav, you're not going to end up where you want to go.
Exactly.
So that's what the journals do to keep me on track with what I want. To me, it's so simple. It's just so simple. These journals are simple to do, and that's what I like about it, the simplicity.
That's very key for me as someone who also luckily enjoys doing them as well as creating them, is the simplicity, because there's a lot of tools that are around, designing your life, dreaming, journaling, organizing your life. And as soon as there's any level of complexity, it's like I just like computer says no. I can't engage in it. It has to be colorful, it has to be simple, or I'm not going to be, I'm gone.
I mean, you're so amazing, like the work that you've done. Like you are so keen to help other people. It's not, but it's not mad, but obviously that's your purpose. You want to help other people live a good life. Not everyone is like that.
Am I really keen to help everyone? I would say that do you know what? I do like helping people, but I would say the motivation is more driving movement, driving change, driving for change.
Well, I feel like that with what I do, and it's why I create the physical magazine, because I would never do it online. Like, I want people to step away from their phone, read it in a bubble bath, read it in the garden, really to make that time to switch off from cleaning the house or looking after the children. Just make that time for them. It's a lifestyle magazine. It's inspiring. And also at the market, like the connection of touching the things, meeting the people who have made them, bumping into your neighbors, having a chat, having a beer, listening to music. Like, I think we need that connection now, like the good old days, more than ever, to thrive. And that's like, it's really urgent that we thrive now, isn't it?
Exactly.
Otherwise, what's going to happen? I mean, I'm not thriving in many, many ways. And my dad, like when I've seen like my dad's life, he suffered a lot of stress, and ultimately it was really the death of him early. And so I do worry about that for myself. But I suppose all I can do is keep trying. But people like you and me, like that's our garden, isn't it? That's your garden. You are creating a garden of wanting to encourage, to tell people, like, that's your mission too, that you can make changes, you can have the life that you want. And my mission is to reconnect people. But we've all got to earn money and pay the bills.
Yeah, that's the stressful part. I'd have no problems if it weren't for that part. Tell us about what, for people who've not come across Flows Mag and what you do. Tell us about what you do, who you're for, and where you're based. Where is this lovely market?
So I'm based down in Portchester, which is in Fareham, which is near Portsmouth, near Gosport. So I live here by the shore, lovely place to live, great community here. So Flows Mag is a quarterly magazine, a free magazine, which is aimed at the people who live within Fareham and Gosport. So the boroughs of Fareham and Gosport. So we have different areas like Lockseed, Law and Badge. I also distribute just outside of those in places like Wickham, Southsea, Campbell, which I know that you know.
Parents, yeah, lived there.
There's a free magazine out quarterly, January, April, July, October. I give it out in the places that I think the readers will be, the people who love the magazine will be. So independent shops, cafes, at events. So it's sort of an ecosystem of, if finding the right readers, therefore the right advertisers will want to be in it. And the market is near in Rochester, so that's with Fareham Borough Council. It's on the second Saturday of every month. And I do quarterly networking events as well. So that will be that's always a celebration of the magazine.
Mm.
I invite all the contributors, all the advertisers. The last two we've had at the most amazing place in Swanmore. There's like an outdoor wellness space. She's got glamping. She's got sauna, and we've had really good weather, and it's just been great. Like it's all kind of creative people or people who are into wellness. It's all positive lifestyle, kind of a bit hippie people, artists, watchers, like it's not like networking where you would meet accountants and builders and stuff, I mean, I've been to plenty of those, but it's more where everyone's like-minded, really.
Amazing. I think we do a very similar thing in different ways. It's about community and connection and inspiration and wanting to contribute in a positive way and wanting to make a difference,
Yeah, I think we do. I think we're very similar. I've always
I bet we're the same personality type. Have you ever done your Myers-Briggs personality type?
Well, I did it recently, actually, but I can't remember what it is.
Are you an ENFP?
I definitely wasn't in. I don't know. I'll have to revisit that. What did you say, were?
ENFP.
Oh,
ENFPs are they're known as the champions. They love to inspire and be inspired. They need freedom. They like to make a difference. They're idealists. They're part of the idealist quadrant. And so they're, always like going after their ideas and wanting to make them happen and all about connection and
definitely me. I bet it was. Yeah, it probably was.
Very much about like the energy, following the energy and all that kind of thing.
So, well, it's definitely for me, it is about inspiring and to be inspired, like you just said.
Yeah.
I want to live an exciting life, but I want to encourage other people to as well.
Exactly. You don't want it to just be you doing it. You want everyone in on this. That's why I say it's, for me, it feels like I'm kind of like the idea of leading a movement, of getting people like involved, like come and do this too. I don't want to be doing it on my own. So boring. Then, helping where I can. Oh, Helen, this has been so fascinating. I've really, really loved this. Thank you so much.
So thank you.
Really great.
Giving me your time, and amazing to meet you, even though I feel like I know you already.
I know. Well, we've been in each other's worlds for a long time. How can people find out more about you and Flows Mag and the market and the things?
Best way is social media, Flow Circle on social media. I don't have a website at the moment, which is kind of by choice because I don't want to be too bogged down with online stuff. I want it more to be in the real world.
Yeah.
Potentially in upcoming, but that will just be a portal to get people to physical places.
Yeah, to that physical connection.
Yeah, but mainly social media is where I hang out.
Okay, brilliant.
Instagram and Facebook, Close Circle. Yeah.
Oh, Helen, thank you so much. I'm really everything on my walls. The vision boards, my whole study is now just going to be an entire map of what I am like bringing to life.
Reticular activating system.
Reticular activating.
Go and look at it.
I'm going to look.
When I first learned about that in a vision board workshop, I was like, makes perfect sense.
It does. Amazing. Oh, Helen, thank you so much.
Okay.
And I hope you enjoy filling out your journal this year.
I haven't even bought it yet. I'm going to buy it right now. Yeah. And I'm going to get on with this. I'm going to simplify my first chapter of Time to Thrive and not overwhelm myself with it.
Exactly. Just one piece of it at a time, not the whole lot. Helen, you know this.
In fact, I might go out for my walk right now.
Oh, yes, go and do that.
Put my welly through. Yes.
Lovely. Enjoy your walk.
But Nina, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye, Helen.